Valentine's Day, a night of love. Of candlelight and laughter, of couples walking close through city streets, warm against the cold. But on one particular Valentine's night, in the underground tunnels beneath the city of Liverpool, England, a husband saw something that would haunt him for the rest of his life. A woman sitting perfectly still, dressed as though she had stepped straight out of the 1940s. The only problem? His wife could not see her at all. This is a true story. It began as a perfectly ordinary evening. A young couple from Liverpool had decided to treat themselves to a Valentine's Day dinner in the city. They had spent a lovely night together, a restaurant meal, conversation, the warmth of each other's company on one of the coldest nights of the year. As the evening wound down and the city grew quieter, they made their way to Liverpool's James Street station. James Street, an underground station buried deep beneath the city streets. Ancient brick tunnels stretching back over a century. A station with a history soaked in joy, in tragedy, in loss. But the couple were not thinking about history that night. They were just two people in love, waiting for their train, until the husband noticed the woman on the bench. The station was almost deserted at that late hour. The couple sat down on the platform, talking quietly, waiting for the last train to arrive. And that is when the husband noticed her. Sitting on the very same bench, just beside them, was a young woman. She was dressed immaculately, a sharp, elegant black suit, tailored in a style that had not been fashionable for more than 50 years. The kind of outfit a young office worker might have worn during the war years. Every detail precise, every seam perfect. But it was not her clothing that unsettled him. It was her stillness. She was staring straight ahead, completely rigid, not fidgeting, not checking a phone, not glancing at the tunnel, just staring, fixed, unmoving, like a photograph of a person rather than a person. Before the husband could say anything to his wife about the strange woman, the train arrived. A rush of warm, stale tunnel air swept across the platform. The headlights of the train emerged from the black mouth of the tunnel, two white eyes cutting through the dark. The train slowed, stopped, and then the woman on the bench moved. She rose from the bench smoothly, quietly, and walked ahead of the couple, boarding the train first. They stepped through the doors, and the compartment was empty. The compartment was completely empty. There were no other doors, no connecting carriage she could have passed through, no window she could have climbed from. The only way in or out of that compartment was through the very doors the couple had just walked through, and no one had passed them. The husband turned to his wife, frowning. "Did you see the lady, the one who was sitting on the bench beside us?" His wife looked at him blankly. What woman? He stared at her. The woman on the bench, the one who got on the train ahead of us. She was sitting right beside us. His wife slowly shook her head. I didn't see any woman. He was, by all accounts, a level-headed man, not the sort to believe in ghosts. And yet, he had seen her clearly. The precise 1940s cut of her suit, the stillness of her posture, the fixed, unblinking stare straight ahead. He had watched her stand, watched her walk, watched her board this very carriage. And his wife, sitting right beside him on that same bench, had seen absolutely nothing. As if the woman had existed only for him. James Street Station is one of Liverpool's oldest underground stations. It was first opened in the 1880s, part of the Mersey Railway, one of the first underground railways in the world. In 1941, during the Liverpool Blitz, the German Luftwaffe bombed the city relentlessly. Night after night, waves of bombers tore across the sky above Liverpool, dropping their payloads on a city that refused to break. James Street Station did not escape. The surface building above the station was struck by bombs. But beneath the street, deep inside the tunnels, something else was happening. Hundreds of Liverpool civilians fled underground. They huddled in the dark, listening to explosions shaking the earth over their heads, not knowing if they would emerge to find their homes, their streets, their city still standing. The tunnels of James Street absorbed all of that fear, all of that desperation, all of that grief. Some believe that places hold energy, that extreme human emotion can somehow soak into stone and brick and tunnel wall. And if that is true, then James Street Station is soaked to its very foundations. It was Valentine's Day, a night defined by love, by longing. And the woman he had seen was dressed as a young woman from the 1940s, when young lovers in Liverpool were separated by something far more brutal than distance, when young men boarded trains and ships and never came back. Perhaps she was simply waiting, still there, still waiting on Valentine's night of all nights. No one ever identified the woman. No one ever explained why only the husband could see her and not his wife sitting inches away. No one explained how she had boarded a sealed train carriage and vanished inside it without passing through its only doors. Staff at the station over the years have reported unexplained sounds in the tunnels. Figures glimpsed at the far end of empty platforms. Cold spots in parts of the station where there is no source of moving air. A woman who was seen by one person and invisible to another. A woman who walked onto a train and ceased to exist. Some places remember the past more clearly than others. Some stations are not just stops on a line. Some platforms are still full of people we cannot see. The last train out of James Street Station leaves late at night. Most nights the platform is quiet, a handful of tired commuters, a couple heading home. But every Valentine's night, when the city is full of love and longing, there is a question worth asking. When the last train arrives and you glance down the bench beside you, is there someone sitting there? Someone perfectly still, someone staring straight ahead, someone dressed just a little too precisely for the era they're in. And if there is, can everyone around you see them?